My name is Cody Vandenberg, and I'm going to be discussing the issues America faces in math classes and some possible solutions. The overarching problem is that America is not keeping up with its international competitors in regards to mathematical abilities. If we look at the test scores of other developed countries, we can see that the problem exists. The percentage of American students who scored in the highest range was a minute 6%, as opposed to Taiwan with 28%. South Korea had 23% of their students who scored the highest, and Finland had 20% scoring in the highest range. In fact, on a list of 30 developed countries, America was dead last in math scores. With these low scores, America is having a difficult time competing with international competitors in the career search. The reason many believe America is falling so far behind is because America is the only country that takes a memorization style approach as opposed to the creative, hands-on approach that other countries take. To go along with this, American teachers are not valued nearly as high as other countries value their teachers. America has zero support staff put into play for the teachers we have, and the pay is just a fraction of what other countries pay their teachers. For example, in South Korea, an average first-year teacher makes about 141% of the country's gross domestic product, as opposed to America's teachers only making 81% of the GDP. Not only is the teacher salary so little, the quality of teachers is not up to par either. Countries such as Taiwan recruit from the top 5% of the graduate students to teach in their schools, while America is only getting the bottom third of the graduate students to teach their classes. When I talk about a support staff, I mean a staff that their entire goal is to make sure teachers have a reliable source to confide in if they are struggling or if they need help with students. In Singapore, they have a requirement that all teachers go through a 100-hour class on how to support one another and be as effective as they can be. If you don't believe that the teachers' pay play a role in America's math problem, then let's look at the abilities of international students. Tests taken in 2009 show that on average, students from other developed countries have the same abilities as American students, but a year earlier, meaning that while we were teaching algebra in the 9th grade, students all over the world are being taught algebra in 8th grade and in some countries even 7th grade. How do we go about to fix this problem? Well, it all starts with our teachers. We need to start recruiting teachers with higher abilities, but that won't happen until we can afford to pay our teachers the salaries they require to achieve this. So once we can implement a support staff for teachers and desirable salaries, our quality of teachers will always fall short when compared internationally. As of right now, the track that students take math classes goes as follows: pre-algebra in 8th grade, algebra in 9th grade, geometry and trigonometry in 10th grade, algebra 2 in 11th grade, and college prep math in 12th grade. My solution to this problem is requiring the curriculum to push everything forward a year, meaning algebra is in 8th grade and so on. This will give an extra year for students to prepare for college and even get some college credits while they are in high school. Why hasn't this already happened, you may wonder? Well, many researchers believe that when students are at the ages of 12 to 14, they are not ready for the complex idea of algebra, and here's why. As students go through school, their brain is either in a growth stage or a plateau stage, meaning that there's no growth happening. And for most students, that plateau stage happens during the ages of 12 to 14, which is when 8th grade comes around. How can we get around that? Well, if we start introducing these ideas even earlier with subtle questions like, if you have 8 apples, how many do you need to have 12? This, in math terms, can be viewed as x plus 8 equals 12, thus introducing the ideas of variables at much younger ages. It was said that students in other countries are a year ahead, and their brains are going through the same plateau. So how is it that our students can't adapt to these ideas earlier? If they can do it, so can we. So there we have it. In order to get America back into the competition, we are going to need to increase the pay for teachers, thus pulling a higher pool of applicants, which in turn will raise the quality. We need to implement a support staff for these teachers and change the track of math for these students. Once we get all of this started, I can see America improving their math scores and effectively preparing their students for this technologically sound world that we live in.